Alright, welcome back. So, just a heads up, the project we've been working on so far, we are finished with that. I figured the previous video, the recap we did, I feel like that's a perfect, how should I call it? That's a perfect send-off for our last project. Now, we're gonna move on to another. Off camera, I created a new project and a new scene. And I will show it to you in a sec. So far, in our new scene, I only use things that I already showed you in the previous videos. So don't feel intimidated. And plus, I'm gonna do a little quick rundown anyway to show you what I added, what I did off camera. But anyway, let's head into our new project. Already you can see that it's pretty similar. First we have our plane here. We also had a plane object in our previous project. If you need to copy its scale, position, rotation, etc., here it is. You can pause the video and create your own plane object. And next we have our player character. And finally we have our main camera up here. The only noticeable difference, new difference, you can see that our projection type is changed. In the previous video, our camera was perspective. But now, in this project, our camera will be orthographic. Going to our assets, I already created a few things. In our materials, there is only one material, and that is the ground, to make the ground black. And then scripts. We only have a script for our player. We already did the same in the previous project. Right now, our player behavior script only gives us the feature to move left and right. This time we won't jump. We don't need to jump. We also have bounce, which I already showed in the previous video, in the previous project. From now on, at least until our next recap video where we'll switch to another project, until then, I will use this project to show you new things, new tutorials. And our first tutorial in this project is gonna be showing you how to rotate our object. How to turn our object towards our mouse or cursor. So in the game view, if our cursor is positioned like this, then our player object is gonna look at it. In the same logic, if our mouse moves here, our player object will also turn towards it. For this, we will need 3 requirements. First, our main camera in our scene needs to have this main camera tag. Next, we need to have a ground object, which we already have, or plane object. And last, our ground object needs to have a collider, which our plane object has. Without wasting time, let's get into our player behavior script and start coding to start rotating our object. Since we're gonna use our main camera in this script, we're gonna need to introduce our camera to our script. We're gonna have to create a reference to our camera. We'll write private camera, and then let's call the variable main camera. We will assign to this variable in the start method at the start of our runtime. So let's create our start method. We'll write main camera equals to camera main. Now what this method does is it will search our hierarchy and find a camera that is tagged main camera, which our main camera in our scene has. Then once our camera.main finds a camera with the main camera tag, it will assign that camera to our main camera variable. Next, we will start creating a method to rotate our player object. We already have a function that allows us to move our player object. So now we're gonna do the same, but with rotation. And we're gonna need to call this in our update function, just like our handle movements function. I won't write the entirety of our handle rotation function. Instead, I'll do a skipping in 3, 2, and 1. And here we are. Now let's get into the explanation. First, in our first line, we cast a ray cast from our main camera to where our mouse is. So a ray cast from our main camera to our mouse, to where our mouse is on the screen. Then, if the ray cast hits a collider, hits our ground object's collider, we will get, how should I say this? We will get the exact positions of our hit points. The point where our raycast hits our collider. Then, from that hit point's position, we omit the hit point's y-axis value, because in our project the y-axis is irrelevant. Then we move on to our second if statement. If our target direction isn't 0, 0, 0, then we will create our rotation that faces our target direction. Then finally we rotate our object, or object's rotation. Here we have our current rotation, or target rotation, and then just a little bit of a smoothing factor. That's it. Now let's get to our editor and see if this works.